Hopefully that's not the case, but I have a suspicion that you didn't hear the drums on that, but hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of the chat window and find out for sure. So hey, Jim Toscano here. Welcome to episode 7, which is building a drum track from scratch. So if I hope you heard that, I'm not sure that you did because it sounded like my drums got muted. But I'm working by myself tonight, so you'll have to bear with me. Due to everything going on in the world, I am working by my lonesome. My wizard is missing tonight. He's actually not doing social distancing. His family locked him in a cage in his basement, and they won't let him out. So that's why he's not here. But I hope everybody's being safe and taking precautions and using this time while you're stuck at home to not only be safe and take care of your families, but to be creative, be productive, do some things that you've been wanting to get to. Find some time for practicing. Yes. I know I'm going to be doing a lot more online teaching over the next duration, whatever that is, more than usual, which, hey, listen, it's all good, right? We're all in this together, and hopefully we can take the time and actually work on our craft, which is what I'll be doing most of the hours of every day. So there it is. Okay, so in case you didn't hear that, I'm hoping you did. I'm basically going to be talking about tonight when I get a track, how I kind of start building drum parts. And, you know, the GoPro video mode, it doesn't matter. I'm not switching cameras tonight. We're going to stay on this camera. So I'm going to be trying to, you know, use the mouse to kind of get things queued up. So bear with me. It might be a little stop and go tonight. But what I'm going to do, hopefully, is play you the bass line that I got sent, and let you kind of hear what it started with this last track. By the way, this track is from a group that, we need help naming the band. So I thought to call it Kairos, which I stole from Klaus Hessler, but the term meant like a pivotal moment or something, but it seems like the band's not going for that. Somebody in the band decided maybe it would be cool to call it Loose Rooster. And then Rob, the bass player, who I'll be talking about everybody in this project tonight, was like, Loose Rooster, that sounds like a country band. So we've been fielding all kinds of names, but it would be kind of cool to get you guys watching this thing, if there is anyone watching, to chime in and come up with a band name. I will try to get to the chat window by the end of this live stream. Actually, what I'm going to do right now is hopefully get the window that has the chat on it and grab it and move it my way so I have it next to me. I think I have it. Okay, there we go. So, and I can't see. Oh, okay, there we go. So, live chat area. I don't usually do this myself, so I'm not sure how this is going to work tonight, but we'll see. All right. So, anyway, so back to the tune. I'm going to play you the bass line of this tune, hopefully, right now. Okay, so hopefully you were able to hear that. I have a feeling that you didn't hear me playing drums with that before, but all right. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me get rid of this window. I really need the. Sorry, you have to bear with me. I'm gonna grab the other window and bring it closer. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so you are seeing. hopefully my live scene. I'm going to put a picture-in-picture thing. Let's see. I'm going to put the monitor up for a second. So this is the chart that I wrote out based on that particular bass line. So I wrote out basically just the bass figures when I started putting this together. And what I kind of figured I'd do in this particular tune is it's a really busy bass line. So rather than playing a busy drum part, I'm playing super simple against it. So let me do this. Let's see. I'm trying to work everything here. All right, so I'm going to play with that bass line. Let's see if you can hear this. And it'll just be me and the bass line. And actually, we'll put the click on. Let me see if I have a click for you guys. Yeah, I have a feeling the drums keep dropping out. All right, so I'm gonna record. 1, 2, 3. So it's really that first section that I'm keeping super, super simple. That main part of the bass line. So on that, I'm just playing 1 and 3, 2 and 4. And then on bar 4, by the way, this is in wow, my voice sounds really loud. This is in the downloads in the description of this video. So you could download the chart and kind of follow along if you like. There's a bar of quarter notes on measure 4. And so on measure 4, I took the liberty of sort of playing like a halftime shuffly kind of thing. And I did that because it's just 4 quarter notes being played essentially by the whole band. And so what I wanted to do is kind of fill that in, but make it grooving and make it feel really good. So I'm going to play that one more time, and just pay attention to that bar 4 figure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the keyboards, I think, and we'll listen to what the keyboards added. And that's, I think, kind of what inspired me a little bit is the keyboard part too. So here is, I have to record, I think, for you guys to hear this. So here is the first 6 bars about. 1, 2, 3. So I lied. I put on the guitar instead of the keyboards. But so you get the idea. So it's basically playing a very, very simple groove against that. And it's only, we're basically doing that for around 5 bars of simple-ish stuff. And then it goes to this figure where they're kind of holding out the of beat 2, the of beat 4, the of beat 2, and then they play the E and the uhs. So the figure goes like this. It starts out with half of the bar as a groove. So, we're going and that whole thing is, I'm going to play it on the snare. It's like a syncopated little figure. So starting on bar 6, and then I have a 1 bar fill that I play after that. So it's basically that figures over 2 bars of 4, a bar of 2, and then a bar of 4 for the fill. Okay, so I'm going to play that whole part. And so, so what I was getting at is that, so I could have played, you know what, I'm going to play something, let's see, I'll play something kind of simple. Instead of the figure that I played, I'll play their figure and put it in my kick drum, just to see how the part would have sounded if I did this. Wow, I'm going to need a keyboard over here. Yeah, I'm going to wind up getting up and going to get a keyboard in a minute, but let's just try this. So here we go. So I'm going to play the intro into the figure, but I'm not going to play it the way I did it for you the first time. I'm going to play it sort of straight and then show you the difference, why I chose the part. This is really about coming up with drum parts and what I did with this particular tune. And, you know, maybe it's what kind of makes my sound, and your sound would be your sound. If you played this tune, you probably would make some other choices, right? We do it all based on our own experience and library of ideas and kind of where we come from as drummers, right? So if I took 10 different drummers and had them all play this track, you guarantee it would all be kind of very different. All right, so let's see if this thing will work. 1, 2, 3, and I forgot to play the other thing. I meant to play a little something different, and I played my original part. Let me try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I did it 2 different ways there. I started out with just playing the figure in my kick drum, sort of, and hitting the hi-hat, and playing it more open and more of a groove thing. And then I played it the way that I hear it, the way I want to play it. So I'm just going to compare that for a second. So if we're going, I played so I'm kind of playing it out, literally playing the figure. Definitely a different approach, right? A little bit fusion-y. You know, this is like a funk fusion project, so I took kind of that approach. I'll do that one more time with, let me do it with the music again. Let's see if I can, I'm going to keep rolling, and I think I'm going to have to go delete these files because we're going to start to cease. We don't want that to happen. All right, let me try that again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right. So, sorry, trying to get my mouse back. Okay. Yeah, this is hard to do by yourself. I'm trying. I'm trying. So you can see what I mean. I played it a little more literally playing out the figures, and I like that. And actually, the band seems to really like that. So who knows? Maybe they'll hear this live stream and they'll be like, "Hey, man, I like that thing you did in the live stream." All right, so that brings us up to the B section. Now the B section, let me see. I changed the groove a lot, and it's basically because of the bass line. I need to mute that guitar again because I want you to really hear the Rhodes sound. Let's see. There we go. I got the Rhodes up. Let me put up the Rhodes. And yeah, so this, let's see. I should really like put this on the window so you can see it. Let me see if that works. I'm going to picture-in-picture my Pro Tools setup, my Logic setup. So that way you can kind of see like how I'm just picking through the tracks and stuff. And actually then I can see what the heck I'm doing. So I'm going to go to this B section. I'm going to just sort of start punching in from there. And we'll listen to that part when it comes up. So I'm going to stop that for a minute. So you can hear that the vibe changed a lot right there. And basically what cued that to me was the bass line. So let me mute the keys and the click. I'm just going to play the bass line for a second. Let's see if you... I'm going to solo this bass line. Okay, so you could hear that's kind of got a funky, like, 70s kind of feel. So at first I thought about, you know, I could go with like 4 on the floor for that thing. And that would sound like, here, let's see. Let me put the click back on. And I'll just play the bass part and me. You mute the guitars. And I'll play 4 on the floor and just to feel like what that's like. Let's see. But I felt like that was a little too heavy feeling, especially on the foot. It felt really heavy. So I like the 1 and 3. And then the other thing I did was I kind of played all my ghost notes out in unison with the hi-hat. So I'm doing, this is the groove I'm playing. Man, I gotta turn my headphones down. This is killing me. All right, there we go. All right, so... So I feel like that you know, that hi-hat part kind of gives it a little grease. Um, because everything's so tight. The guitar came and did that later. My part was kind of already thought up before the guitar got in there, so he's kind of putting the grease also, but it works. And here I'm gonna play you. I'm gonna play you just the keys and the bass. Let's mute the guitar, and I'll give you the click, keys, bass. I'm gonna hit record. Let's see. All right, so I feel like that definitely opens things up a little bit, and you know, by opening that up, it changes the feel. It makes it have a little more elasticity. So, and it's kind of a nice contrast between the A section and the B section of the tune so far. And then basically, as we go through this tune, and I'll kind of show you here. See if I can hide this window. If you look at the chart, it's an AAB, AAB, and then there's a drum break, and then there's a C section, a solo section. So I'm going to talk about, let me talk about the drum break for a minute. And there's some little specifics that happen in here that are kind of cool. But so after we do the A section the next time, there's a little different treatment. That 2/4 bar gets expanded. It becomes a 4/4 bar. There's a little figure, and then there's 4-bar drum break. And so that I wanted to make it kind of groovy and kind of feel like a groove solo. And let me pull that up for you. And, you know, make it less soloistic. And I'm going to pull it up to that part. Let's see. Let's see, B section, drum break. So I'm going to go from the A section, if I can, into that drum break. Let's see. And see if I can hide this. Oh no, I hit the mouse. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that again. Cool, but that's the idea. So I kind of made that more of a groove breakdown, and actually, I did record this, by the way. And when I recorded it, I kind of did this. Let me see. We do that little. So when I do that. So there's a little stop on that figure, right? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have this sort of 3 bars of groove and then this little half bar fill. 1, 2. And then I go into the C section. C section? I was a C section. Was I? I don't know. My daughter was a C section. All right. So anyway, so when I do that little drum break on the 3rd bar on the recording, I actually brought back that little shuffle to kind of tie it in. So I did it kind of like this. Man, I'm going to just do it with the track. I think it'd be easier, right? Let's see. Nothing's easy when you're by yourself. Damn you, Billy. Damn you, Billy. All right, let's see. It's all good. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Into the B section. So that's kind of what I came up with on that recording. See if I can get this track back and shut it off. Yeah. So the breakdown wound up being sort of a little funk. 2, 3, 4, 2, and then into the next part. And the reason for the little fill as a transition, I just wanted something punchy that had a stop before I set up the next groove, because the next groove is even bigger contrast. So like, all right, so we have that. And then there are some little specifics that I was going to mention sort of in some of the A sections. And little things that happened in the recording that the bass wound up grabbing later, and then something that I left a space and he filled it in, and we kind of came up with these things that sound, that they belong together, because we're recording this, by the way, remotely from 5 or 6 different studios, depending on how many people are playing on the recording, which is, I think it's amazing that we do that, and then we managed to make it sound like a band. So one thing, we have this little stop I'll show you real quick. And this was kind of my doing. And then, Rob grabbed that on the bass. And then there's another one that he put in there that it made me want to treat it differently and leave a space. Let me see if I can find this now. So it's before the drum break. I'll play the whole A section before the drum break. And there's some cool, there's a good little triplet stop in there that you'll hear. Oh, that's the one right there. So that A section, let's hear that again. I didn't realize it was right there. So that's the, oh yeah. I got to go back to the first A of that area. So you can hear 2 A sections. The second one has the triplet. So that's that little part. So those are the little specifics that I'm talking about. And there's one that comes up later after the solo section. So let's talk solo section after the drum break. So the drum break happens. The solo section comes in, and listen to, let's see, I'm going to solo the bass. Actually, I'll solo the track. My voice will go away. Hopefully you're going to hear this. Okay, so what prompted my part was that bass line. So here's the bass line. I'll mute the other guys. Here's the bass line. And this kind of made me feel it a certain way. Now I could play this straight. But I kind of felt like we got that already in the A section. I wanted to do something that really had contrast for the solos. So I started playing sort of this feel. Because it's in the bass part. And so you'll hear that here. Let me play this again. So that kind of opens things up for the soloist, I think, a little bit. It definitely puts it in sort of this, it suggests a little bit of Brazilian, like a baião, right? And, I mean, that's kind of the way I played it on the recording. Let me see. Go back. I'm going to do that one more time. Let's put the keyboards in. So if we put the keys in, we can get like, put in, oh yeah, there it is, Rhodes. All right, here we go. Check this out. So it definitely gives it a different feel before the soloist is there. So I like that kind of floating feel. And then, I did try this one other thing. I'll play you something. I sort of played, it's the same thing, but instead of putting the bass accents on my foot, I put them on the toms. I'll show you. Definitely has a different feel. But then it has more of this like 4 on the floor feel. So I felt like that was a little too strict. So, and this is the process, it goes through my head. I usually come upon what I'm going to play on the recording pretty quickly. And then I go and I try a bunch of other things that I ultimately don't like and throw them all away and then go back to the original thing. It's usually like first or second takes. I'm like, oh, that's it. And I go, yeah, but what if I did this? And then I do about 50 other things that I don't like. So go with your gut is kind of the moral of that story. All All right, so let me just, I'm going to look at a couple other little pieces of this. But so, you know, let me know what you think about the parts. I mean, I kind of, I really enjoy that, that dum dum tak dum dum tak for the solo. And I like it on the ride because I feel like it totally opens it up. I can make that real tight on the hat. Doos, doos, tak, doos, doos, you know, sort of this thing. But I think it tightens it up a little too much. In fact, let's check that out. So, where is this? This is in the drum break. Let's see. And I might as well put the guitar in so you could hear what happens. Yeah. Little too restrictive, right? So let's see. Let's go back to the ride. And now you'll hear it in context with the guitar player. Let me give myself a bar to jump in here somewhere. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I think we can agree that probably felt better than the hi-hat part. I need to get the guitar down in the mix. Wow. Okay. So I think that works, right? So again, without the soloist, we got this. All right. So now, all right. So we're cool with that. So now there's one more little section, and then actually what I'll probably do is see if there's. I don't know if I can do the chat thing tonight. So if I can't, because I never had to do all of this at the same time, if I can't do it, then my apologies. I'm going to try to, but I never did it before, so I'm not really sure where I have to go. Billy usually takes care of the chat window. Okay, so let's just check out. So when we go back to the tune, the A section, I'm going to play that. There's a cool little thing that Rob did on the bass that's in the little gap in our groove with the accent. He did this little doodle-doo-doo. So I like to get out of the way of that. So let's see. Let me hit record so I can jump in. I have a cable stuck on my pedal. What is happening? What is happening? Can't do it by myself. All right, one more time. So you'll notice that I played it. I went. He did this little doodle-doo on the bass. So I actually played it. Let's try dropping out and just let him have that moment. Let's see. And maybe if we drop out on the do 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 do. Let's try that again. Oh, there's a keyboard thing. Let's see what he did. So the keyboard player did an act. Let's see, where's that keyboard thing? Oh, he did it. He played on the end of that figure. I'm just going to try to do that and let the keyboard player help him. Let's see. Yeah, I got to come in earlier, so we get that. So this would be something, you know, little details, right? Yeah. So I kind of like that, getting out of the way of that thing. Let me see if I can play that back for us. My humming is like, I'm humming everywhere. So I like that. I kind of like jumping out of the way of that accent on the bass. And then the next one I think is normal. Oh, I was going to mention one other little detail. I'd sometimes, instead of the so I'll displace that or play that, or do something like this. So just for fun. However, if it gets too busy and it takes away from the moment, then I won't play something like that. But let me just hear what it. Fun idea, bad execution. Let me do a different one. So, yeah, I've done better ones than that, but I'll leave that alone. I kind of do like this the best. So over that little space, I think it just adds a little bit of sprinkles and spices. And then the end of the tune, we just play the figure and go out the groove. You know, the end of the groove, that figure. So I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to see about this little chat window. We'll see in a second. Oh. He threw in something else over there. I haven't heard these stems since that recording was done a while ago. And the stems have changed. They changed it to my part. Right there. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just going to play the main accent, because I think I'll be in the way with that. I'm going to let Rob have that. Ah. I played the wrong accent, guys. Sorry about that. Here we go. I'm not looking at the chart. I'm looking at the Logic template. All right. So, kind of just a little window into the thought process as I'm working on these tunes and the things that I'm sort of doing with them. Um, I'm going to attempt to bring up the chat window. This may or may not work, so I'm apologizing in advance because I think I'm not sure. All right, one second. Let me pull this up. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to pull over the window that I believe has the chat. Here, hold on one second. I'm going to go get that. Uh, see if you guys can hear me. I just put on the Billy headset, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see. Oh, I can see the chat. Okay. I'm going to pull the chat window over. I won't be able to type in. I'm just going to read what's happening over here. So I apologize in advance. All right, so I'm heading back over there. One moment, guys. I'm sounding great. All right, so let me see. So let's do. Where's my headphones? Okay. All right, people. Sorry about that. You know, you're dealing with I'm dealing with everything. Hey man, Paul Briscoe, um dude, thanks for hanging. I really appreciate it. Latin vibe for sure. Cool. Yeah, the ride with the hats. I know. Yeah, I had something like that happening earlier on the tune. I know what you're talking about in the in the solo section. I had something like that going when I first was playing the tune, and then I wound up going to the ride. But yeah, for sure, I dig that vibe, and I'm glad you brought that up. And we got Nico, the filmmaker. Oh, Jim, my boy. Thanks for being in there, Nico. My mom's in there. You know, I as I say every time, my mom's responsible for all this madness. Uh, and thanks for being in there, Mom. I hope you're being safe. I hope everybody's being safe in this crazy time that we're having. Um, so yeah, so the next live, I believe, I'm going to be picking a topic, but I think I'm going to start breaking up that shuffle evolution and going through sort of my. Anybody that studies with me know I have this very extensive lesson and library on shuffles, and kind of from the simple swing shuffles and then kind of expanding it into some of these halftime shuffles and then kind of analyzing different people's halftime shuffles. So we may start the shuffle thing next week. I would like to do another one of these sort of breaking down tunes and showing the parts and going through that with maybe some different styles. You know, I work for Roger Street Freeman. You know, I play in his band, and he's a songwriter that has a lot of interesting things that go on. And it's kind of fun how we piece together those tunes. My other band, Giant Flying Turtles, we have some really crazy bananas stuff that's has a lot of interesting parts. The new record is just chock full of craziness. So no shortage of weird grooves in there. And then this wonderful project that I'm trying to name for the funk fusion thing. There's a bunch of tunes, so I would like to break down some more of these. So I really appreciate everybody hanging and checking out the live. I'll be editing this week. I'm going to have probably a little extra downtime. I'll be editing some of these videos and getting up some nice some nice shorter versions of it and sort of the highlight reel that I owe you guys from the first 4 streams. So I'm going to do that as well. And you know, Paul, as long as you're out there, Paul Briscoe, I would love to do a guest spot with you if you're down. I will bring you in and we'll get you rigged up in here, and maybe we'll do some playing. Definitely going to be doing that live with my band, with the Funk Fusion Project, and lots of guests I have in my head that I would like to bring in here. But absolutely, Mr. Briscoe, I'd love to have you in here. Thanks for saying hi to my mom. uh, and I will see you guys on the next live. Oh, and by the way, I got to make one other announcement. So I'm going to be live streaming my hand technique workshop on, I believe it's the 26th. Not this Thursday. It'll be I believe it's Thursday. I think it's the last Thursday of the month. That makes sense, right? The last Thursday of March, I'll be live streaming the hand technique workshop stuff because we're not going to be probably getting together as a group for a while. So I'll live stream basically the routines, and you could be on your practice pads in your drum room or wherever you are and playing along with me, hopefully. And I have some great new routines using a lot of hybrid rudiments. Really fun stuff coming down the pipe. So that'll be coming up real soon. So thanks for hanging tonight. I'm going to get running and go eat some dinner. And thanks for hanging tonight. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time. Oh, one quick thing. Sabian cymbals. Just want to mention these fine cymbals that I play, and these pedals, these crazy pedals that I play. And I'll probably do a little thing where I highlight these pedals and maybe a gear overview night. So that's just a thought. All right, I'll stop rambling. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to end the stream now, and I'll see you next week.